And we are live. Welcome to the NBA Strategy Show. It is Thursday, May 8th. I am Josh Engleman, here to break down just one game. We've got Golden State in Minnesota. No Steph Curry today. Coming off of yesterday, where Oklahoma City just absolutely gives Denver the business. Almost scoring as many points in the first half as the Knicks did in their win. And then we get to talk about the Knicks and the Boston Celtics, because it happened again. Knicks up 2-0 in the series. Celtics dump another 20-point lead. I am fascinated by that series, and I'm excited to talk about it as we go. Wild stuff. So hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. We here, man. We are in the thick of the playoffs. Wow. Oh, man, that Boston game, there are no words, right? How does it keep happening? How does it keep happening? I truly don't get it. I truly don't get it. Oh my gosh, it's insane. It's insane. To blow the lead again. Like, even watching it happening this time, I was like, it can't. Like, it's not going to happen again, is it? Oh, it is. Oh, it is. I did use that event of the Celtics blowing that game to bet the Celtics right after that game came out, and right after the game was over, right after those updated lines started getting posted. I got Celtics in the series. I got Celtics to win the East. I did take OKC over Boston in the finals at that point. So yeah, I was happy to get the updated lines at this point. It is pretty crazy to think that this is still a coin flip series in the betting markets. It's nuts, man. I can't, it's a really hard everything to talk about, because the takes are so extreme, and now what we're looking at in the markets is a coin flip. Just a straight up coin flip. And rationalizing that is tough. Knicks in 5 from the news god. Yeah, I'd mortgage my house to bet the opposite of that side. It's nuts. They did there were some little tweaks in the game that I thought were interesting. So I got the matchup data pulled up here. First one that stood out to me was the matchup on Towns. In game 1, it was primarily Jason Tatum who had that Towns matchup. Now, the guy that ended up on Towns more often than not in that game, or in game 2, was actually Jaylen Brown. Basically like a complete flip-flop here. So we had a little bit more Brown on Tatum, and then, this is continuing to go exactly as I expected. When Drew Holiday is the primary defender on Jalen Brunson, it's just not going to be good for the Knicks. Jalen Brunson's not quick enough to get past him regularly, and he's certainly not strong enough in that spot, and it gets a little dicey. So I'm happy with my thought process there. I was surprised to see less Tatum on Towns. I think that probably had a little bit to do with why Towns looked better in this one than he did in game 1. See, here, I got to do this. I got to say this right now so people can understand it. Team Cheekout says, how about those Knicks? Josh, mortgage the house. You just don't like the Knicks, huh? if we're talking about personally, I am a billion times more of a fan of this Knicks team than I am of the Celtics. I spent a lot of my time in college going to visit my best friend who went to Villanova. I'm a huge Nova supporter. Like, I really like Brunson. I really like Hart. I really like Bridges. I really liked DiVincenzo when he was there. I like the Knicks team way more. That's why I talk about this stuff the way that I do, because I'm not going to let the way that I think about the game in my brain dictate the way that I think the series is going to go, because I think it's two separate things. Yeah, I like the Knicks. I prefer the Knicks guys. It's way more fun to me. I don't even think they're in the same stratosphere as a team as Boston. But yeah, like I am not like, yeah, I like Drew Holiday. I don't think a lot of people are like anti-Drew Holiday guys. Good dude. I don't think anybody dislikes Derek White. I think it's pretty easy to dislike Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown as like stars. I get that. I don't think anybody out there dislikes Al Horford. Like, it's an oddly likable Celtics team, but I like the Knicks guys more. I just don't think they're as good. It's the weirdest part of that series and these games is that the Boston defense has been exceptional. Like, the Knicks aren't generating good shots. Boston's defense is everywhere. They're contesting everything. You know, Boston has no trouble getting to the rim when they want to. They have no trouble succeeding at the rim, because if Mitchell Robinson's not on the floor, no one else is going to do it. I have never seen two game scripts look like this. Like, if you just showed me like 2 or 3 stats, I would just assume the Celtics won by 40. Where was their defense last night? I mean, it was dominant. What are we talking about here? Knicks had an 88 offensive rating. They did not generate a single good shot. The takeaway out of that one can't be anything about Boston's defense. That would be, we want to talk about their late game offensive decision making. I'm down for that. There's no argument that Boston's defense has been anything other than exceptional. That's just what it is. This is the I just don't know what Boston's thinking sometimes. I really don't. The biggest issue is just not getting into their offense fast enough. I mean, to me, that's everything. Like, where's a good example? Here's a good example right here, top of the screen. Off of any missed field goal, they're still like a second and a half slower than the Knicks going to try to do anything. Off of a missed 3, a second slower than the Knicks. Get into your stuff. Get into your stuff. You are taking too long to get your shit started. And obviously, they don't have any great shooters on their team. I mean, that's 100% not true, but whatever. We'll skip that. The one thing I did like from the Knicks coming out of that one, they really did take away the corner threes. Boston was only 1 of 5 from the corner. They took 35 threes from above the break. So I do look at game 2 a little bit different than game 1. There were a lot more corner threes in that first game. And if you're getting corner threes that can be marked as even anything remotely close to open, that's a different scenario. If you're only generating 5 corner threes there and 35 above the break, that's not the same distribution that I saw in game 1 that I was willing to just like full stop disregard. See, Coach Chris, I don't agree there. I agree that they're not doing enough, but they just need to start that action 3 seconds faster. They do this same shit where like they're holding, like instead of waiting to 10 so that you get one action, do it at 12 or 13. All you're looking to do is make the Knicks make one mistake. They're not that good of a defense in the grand scheme of things, depending on who's on the floor. Jalen Brunson is a negative defender. Karl Anthony Towns is a negative defender. Make those guys continue to do shit. The faster you start your offense as Boston, the more opportunities you're going to have for the Knicks to screw up. If you're just waiting them out so that you can get one opportunity, then you get into this variance game that we're looking at, and then you blow your first 2 games. Do your shit faster. As I stated out of the gate, I put my money where my mouth is. I bet the Celtics across the board in anything that I could get to right now. This is a very different series now. There is no margin for error. At 1-0, I didn't give a shit. At 2-0, you can't mess around. Not to mention, the big elephant in the room here, there's no Kristaps Porzingis. This dude is evaporated, and that makes Boston a bit more mortal. Because if Kristaps Porzingis is just healthy, there's no reasonable way to describe the Knicks as a comparable team to the Celtics. With no Kristaps Porzingis, starts to get a little dicey. What's more impressive, Knicks being up 0-2 or OKC stomping Denver by 43? Probably the Knicks being up 0-2. The OKC game yesterday is just sort of like the first time we've had the right thing happen the right way. Like, that's what that series is. A Denver team that isn't very good on defense, an OKC team that's better than them on both sides, gives them the business. Coach Chris, yeah. This is title to Olympics. But that's no excuse for Jaylen Brown. He didn't make the team. I'll tell you what, though. I'll bet Oklahoma City is looking at the results of the East thinking like, holy shit, we're going to win the NBA title. Deeg says, regardless of how the game went, the first game went under-owned. Interesting. Speaking of the ownership of the first game, so I bring in all of the live data for when I'm running like late swaps and stuff. So I have the final live data, and I track how good these guys are relative to their salary. So I take their boom score, you know, the scoring 5x plus 10. And then I try to see what their fantasy points are relative to that. Well, I take my ownership and the public ownership, and I like to see how correlated we are to the best plays. My ownership and public ownership basically had a 0 correlation yesterday, which essentially means if you take the top 15 plays, it was random. Like, I didn't have it. The public didn't have it. It was all over the place. Any stand I took, if I go with the correlation based on my top 10 exposed guys, it was negative 0.45. It's so silly. It's so silly. Oh yeah, Coach Chris, like that's a lot, man. That's a lot. Josh, I don't have the data in front of me. Can you share who the great Celtics three-point shooters are, with the standard being Steph? So the standard of being a great three-point shooter is only just the greatest one of all time? Yeah, no, they don't have anybody that's Steph Curry. No one does. No one ever has. The Warriors are the only people that have ever had Steph Curry. What are we talking about? If the standard is being a great shooter at Steph Curry, yeah, they don't have it. That's going to be a tough sell, man. Let's see here. Since we're going to do this. All right, 37% from three on the season this year. That's fun to see. I mean, they're all... As catch and shoot guys, I would guess every single one of them are good to great. Off the dribble, probably not. Dick Togo, are you advocating for a timeout on that final possession? Because I disagree. Let's see. Are these going to load? Be nice if they did. All right, let's see. Derek White. Shooting. Where is it? Perimeter shooting. Catch and shoot 3-point talent on Derek White. A+. 3-point shooting talent. A+. 3-point shot creation. A. Overall gravity. A. I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to go ahead and assume that Derek White confirmed. Really good shooter. See who else we can do here. Let's do Tatum. Jason Tatum as a catch and shoot guy. Catch and shoot talent, B. Shot making efficiency, A-. Now, this one I think stands out. He takes dog shit threes, which is not surprising for the best guy, but I mean, 3-point shooting talent, A+. I'm not going to keep doing this, but I could. The problem isn't the threes. The problem is, I don't know what, honestly. The problem is these guys feel like they're unlucky. You know what? Do you guys think the Celtics are just unlucky? Is this bad luck? They got leprechauns on their side. Why aren't they? Do they need to make a wish at the end of the rainbow or something? I don't know. These guys are pretty down bad. I wonder if there's anything we can do about this. What do you think? You could use Portfolio EV and get it for a month if you want. Sign up through one of our affiliates. Or, yo, the Celtics, down bad right now. Lost their first 2 games at home. But the Celtics' demise is your benefit. If you guys want to sign up for the Portfolio EV tool at oddshopper.com, use the promo code DOWNBAD. One big word. DOWNBAD. 50% off a Portfolio EV sub. Look, if it's not going great for Boston, I'm going to make that go great for you guys. If you want to take a market-based approach to beating the books, get expected value, expected win rate, odds boost calculators, parlay builders, mass betting, mobile entry, notifications the moment something hits your portfolio. Or if you want to do it on the pick'em sites like Prize Picks, Underdog, Sleeper, Dabble, whatever you're looking for, Portfolio EV will cover you. And you can get in for 50% off using the promo code DOWNBAD. I'm feeling bad there for the leprechaun. Shillelagh's just laying in a puddle. It's sad. But you guys can be happy because of it all by using this promo code. The link is in the description. If you want to sign up for the Portfolio EV tool, just click that link. Use the promo code DOWNBAD. 50% off a Portfolio EV sub. We got it here for you guys. We got it here for you. I can't lie. That one was really fun for me. All right. Let's try and discuss this Wolves-Warriors game as much as we can. For those of you that have been living under a rock for the past 2 days... Ooh, hold on. Put a pin in that. James Perkins, 100% no. Of all the things that the Celtics made a mistake for yesterday, calling a timeout on the final possession is not the one. They 1,000,000% should not have called that timeout. What they did after that is a problem. The timeout, never take that timeout in that scenario. And I'll say why and you'll understand it. Jalen Brunson's on the free throw line. If you take the timeout, they're taking Jalen Brunson off the floor and replacing him with someone better on defense. What you need to do in that situation is not take the timeout and attack Jalen Brunson instead of leaving him on the floor and not doing shit with him. That's the benefit of not taking the timeout, leaving the worst defender on the floor. They had the opportunity to attack Jalen Brunson. That's what they did wrong in that final possession. That's why you don't take the timeout, because they would have had better defense. Yeah, BD, I'm with you on that one. I said it on the playback stream there too. Tibbs tried to dodge it during the first half, and he was going to take him out. And I said it to Greg. I was like, why wouldn't you leave him in until they get there to the bonus? And then they did leave him in. I don't love that heading down the stretch, because all you're doing is not allowing yourself to play as aggressive of defense. But yeah, I would have never called that timeout. I would have never called that timeout. You want Jalen Brunson out there as much as possible. Anyway, sorry, I saw that. I wanted to talk about that one, and I forgot about it on the ramp up. Let's talk Minnesota and Golden State. Let's just start on the Golden State side. Because obviously, like, I think we're all on the same page here that we don't have a ton to say about Minnesota. There's some intricacies that we can get to. But this entire game is on the Golden State side for discussion. Like, it just has to be. Because we don't have Steph. We don't have Steph. And with no Steph, we have introduced a lot of variance to tonight's slate. I like that a lot for getting to play this one. But right now, we don't know who's really going to play for Golden State. And I don't even think we really know who's going to play for Golden State until halftime. One, Steve Kerr is just going to do a bunch of dumb shit. Like, everybody's going to be bouncing in and out early. And he's going to try to find something. So, like, yes, you're expecting big minutes out of Buddy Hield and Brandon Pajemski. Obviously, Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green are not guys that we need to, like, discuss. They're just out there as much as they can be until Draymond gets ejected or Butler gets hurt, you know? It's the Peyton, Kuminga, Looney, Moody, Spencer, Post, Santos. If you guys have any lean on those guys, you're wrong. You know why you're wrong? Because I don't think Steve Kerr has that lean, other than he hates Kuminga, but it could still even be Kuminga. We've got Gary Payton at 4,400. We've got Kuminga at 2,800. We've got Looney at 26, Moody at 24, Spencer at 1,200, Post at 2K, and Guy Santos at 1K. Oh. Let's take a look at what this Golden State team has done with just these guys on the floor, which is something we can do right now. So let's grab Golden State, all games, 5 guys, and it's going to be Butler, Draymond, Looney, Hield, Payton, Kuminga, Spencer, Moody, Santos, Pods. As a team, offensively, 105.5 offensive rating. That is terrible. No one should be surprised by that. Oh, I got to scroll down. Sorry. No one should be surprised by a 105.5 offensive rating. This is a terrible offensive team right now. You don't really have a ton of shooting. You don't really have a ton of spacing. I'm not surprised to see them be a 105.5 offense. Actually, can I? Oh, that's so much better. Why didn't I do that before? Sorry, I'm moving windows around on my screen to improve everything I'm doing. If I move this window, is it going to move that? Oh, nice. That's so much better. Let's see what the defense looks like for this 5-man group. 106.4. Opponents are shooting 37.5% from 3. That's a little higher. What are they shooting, actually? I didn't even look. Yeah. No surprises here. In 332 minutes with the guys available for Golden State, they're shooting 30% from 3. That's going to be a really difficult thing to improve. 50% true shooting. Just a curiosity here, guys, in chat. How does Golden State generate offense here? What's your guess? How can they do enough offensively to save this? I don't know if they can. It should come as no surprise that Jimmy Butler is your most owned guy from Golden State. 51% overall on DraftKings, 25% in the captain spot. After that, you can see the captain ownership on Golden State, and it explains exactly how I think we probably all feel about this matchup. Like 5% Draymond, 5% Buddy Hield, 5% Pods, 5% Brandon Pajemski. You know, there's not a lot of separation. The guys that I think are most interesting are like Santos, Post, Spencer, Moody, these like sub 20% dudes. I think this is a disaster for Jimmy Butler. More so than it's ever been before for the Heat. He's like, there's just every dribble he takes is going to be into like the other 9 guys. He's going to get claustrophobic with the lack of space that he has around him. That said, he's the only guy that can really do anything here. Deeg says McDaniels is going to suffocate him. That's just it. Everybody is. Everybody is. Because he's just going to get funneled into arms. And now, the even scarier part for Golden State is that Minnesota can lean on Rudy Gobert in a much different way now. Because you don't have Steph. And the kryptonite to someone like Rudy Gobert is Steph Curry. There's no kryptonite left. It's not Buddy Hield. We're talking about a guy that doesn't even know how to put on the right shorts. So now the Minnesota defense can actually be even better, and they don't really have to sacrifice anything because of the lack of Steph. Look at the fantasy points per minute for the 4 guys at the top that aren't Butler. Like 0.8, 0.8, 0.8, 0.8, Green, Hield, Pods, Payton. What do you do with that? That's a good question, Doc. Is Gee the third or fourth best playmaker? Who soaked up the usage in these situations with this group? We've got Jonathan Kuminga in 168 minutes with these guys. 29.5% usage rate. 50% true shooting. After that, it's Pat Spencer in a tiny sample. Pods around 24. This is the interesting one to me. Even in this situation where there's nobody left, Jimmy Butler in this scenario only has a sub 23% usage rate, 22.8. Hield is actually the guy that takes on the biggest increase in usage. He jumps from like 18 to 22 or 23. In my mind, this strikes me as a spot where we see more of Moses Moody. That wasn't really the case before. I'm going to pull up popcorn machine so we can look at the rotations from game one. Yeah, Trevor, there's nothing really that shows that Butler would have that the crazy usage rate. I also don't think they need to send doubles at Jimmy. All right, so here's the rotation flows for game one. We'll just throw the first half in the garbage. Look at the second half. You got Gary Payton taking the spot for Steph. What I thought was pretty interesting was that you only really got a 2-minute stint here and a 30-second stint here, and you didn't see Moses Moody otherwise. Now, he was -3 in that 30 seconds, -4 in that 2 minutes. He was -14 for the game, so that could be the problem. But I think the minutes for Gary Payton in the second half are telling. You got the full closing rotation, picked up 3 fouls in that situation too. And then you got like the real rotations in the third quarter. So I feel pretty good about Payton's minutes. I don't really need to talk through Butler or Draymond. I think Pods and Hield just have to get those minutes. I do find these rotations for Pat Spencer in the second half interesting. You know, you got 7 minutes here. You got another chunk a little bit in the fourth quarter. It seems like they like that a little bit more. They didn't go to Quentin Post at all in the second half. They didn't go to Guy Santos at all in the second half. You know, do I think that changes? Maybe. Let's see. Let's think about this. If they've got Post out there, then they can just hide Draymond so easily now that I'm not entirely sure that Post is going to be that. I think Post is going to get played out of this now. Because when he's on the floor, you just don't have to guard him with Draymond. You could put Draymond on Gary Payton, Looney if he's out there, Kuminga to a degree. So I'm not a big fan of Quentin Post here for Golden State. It doesn't feel like Guy Santos is the guy that gets the bite. Are we all here thinking that it's Pat Spencer? Is that like too galaxy brained? Can't Post be out there to just box out Gobert? I mean, that implies that he can. Is that where we're at right here? Game 2 of the Golden State Warriors, Minnesota Timberwolves makes Pat Spencer the wild card play from the Warriors? Is that what we're doing? Because I think it's what we're doing. Right now, I have them in for 10 minutes. Look, these numbers are obviously subject to change throughout the day. We need more betting market info. We need more time. We need more news, whatever. But this section right here, Kuminga, Looney, Moody, Spencer Post, Santos. I'm going to have a very difficult time figuring out what the best shit is in that spot. I'm just going to pull up Minnesota quickly. I don't have a ton to say here. We kind of know what they do. Unsurprisingly, Anthony Edwards is your highest captain guy. Pretty flat after that. Randall's your next guy up. They play 8 guys. Maybe Terrence Shannon plays like a minute or two. They don't really mess around with their rotation. Every once in a while, you could expect Nickeil Alexander-Walker to get a couple extra minutes at the expense of someone else. I do think we see a little more Gobert today and a little bit less Naz Reid. That doesn't have to be the case if Naz Reid's playing well. Naz Reid could also just take minutes from Randall in that scenario. The interesting part for Minnesota is I don't think they need their defense as much. So they could lean a little bit more offensive, because I don't think Golden State has the ability to hurt them as much. Remember when I said no team is beating Boston in the East? I mean, I'm still aggressively betting Boston, so it's not like I'm changing my story. Unlike the rest of chat, I put my money where my mouth is. Everything I say is on record, and I bet my takes. So, yeah, I said it. And when this series is over and the Celtics win 4-2, I will be redeemed. I'll be redeemed. But yeah, like when it comes to talking about Minnesota from a DFS perspective today, it's kind of just whatever ends up in my lineups is what it is. Like Golden State dictates what I end up with from Minnesota. Like, if they've got all that value, I'm expecting to run a sim and have like 1,000,000,000% of Anthony Edwards, because what the hell else am I going to do? Let's do that. Let's do that quickly. Actually, let me hop to FanDuel first and just show you guys what it looks like. FanDuel, overall, 20% captain ownership to Butler, 20% captain ownership to Ant, and then you've got that Randall, Green, Gobert, McDaniels. Like, they're all sitting in the 6% range. Similarly, Butler and Ant are both just over 50 overall. And then it's this sea of mid-30s. 35, 35, 35, 35, 35, 30. Like, it's just straight down the line, kind of the same ownership. I'm going to guess this contest generator that I run here is going to be not good. So I'm going to run 5,000 lineups in our main sims for what we would put into the main contest on DraftKings, just to get an idea of where it's leaning right now. Let me get the notebook out so I can find out where we want to set our filters, and we'll see what's popping up. Ooh, drop my pen. Hit that like button, by the way, guys. That would help out a ton. All right. I'm guessing it's like 35% the first, so we'll just run it as that. Who's Golden State's 3-point specialist? That would be Buddy Hield. All right. Max FP. Max Own. All right. Don't forget, guys. Celtics are down bad, and you can use the promo code down bad to get 50% off a portfolio EV sub at OddsShopper. There's a link in the description. There should be a portfolio EV link that pops up when I type that into chat. We'll see how well Nightbot's working this morning. But if you click the link in the description of this video and use the promo code DOWNBAD, you will get yourself 50% off a portfolio EV sub. For right now, We have a pretty sizable odds shopper rating on Lou Dort. We do have Golden State under 22.5 PRA on Buddy Hield on NoVig. Looney under 4.5 boards on BetMGM. Draymond under 6.5 boards on DraftKings. Lots and lots of bets available on OddsShopper if you want them, and you can get them for 50% off using the promo code DOWNBAD. That is a sad leprechaun, man. He's bummed out. He's bummed out. He's just been sitting in this alley drinking Sam Adams and crying. All right. We did get a couple really big sim ROIs. So if I did a single lineup sim, I know that I can get up into the 170s. Let's set the filters and let's see what my exposures would look like on a 150. So 2086 is the highest projected lineup in the pool. 214.1 is the highest owned lineup in the pool. So I'm going to filter out some projected fantasy points. Go 188. We're going to filter out some heavily chalky lineups. And we don't want to go all the way to the bottom. So let's make sure we at least have some ownership at 107. Sort by sim ROI. Favorite the top 150. Here are my exposures at 10:45 a.m. At the captain spot. 27% of Ant. 25% of Jimmy Butler. 17 of Julius Randle, which would be my biggest captain stand. Randle projecting 7.5. I've got 17. That is my biggest leverage stand. And as of right now, he has the highest sim ROI at captain of anybody in this game. After that, I don't have any really wild stands. It's a trickle of the rest of these guys. Right now, it looks like it's going to be Randle and Hield for me. Dick Togo, I hope you're betting on the Knicks. You can get them at even money for the series. Now at the flex, even on Butler, even on Edwards, a little bit more of Randle. Here are the stands. Draymond, 11% over the field. Moses Moody, 2x. Kevon Looney, 13% over the field. The shorts are Pods, Gary Payton, and Dante DiVincenzo. So 3 pretty sizable fades. 3 pretty sizable stands. Please don't take this as gospel right now. This is not, I repeat, this is not what I'm saying I'm going to do later today. And we'll have live before lock later tonight from 8 to 8:30. Myself and Greg might stick around for playback or not. We'll see how tired I am by the end of the day. It'll be on for everybody. I don't know if we're going to pop in. We might do it unofficially and just hang out until we don't want to hang out anymore. That's kind of what I'm seeing now in the mornings. Unsurprisingly, I think what we'll see today is that you're taking stands on Golden State bench guys and hoping you're right. Ken, no dog training. Good eye. We're actually going away tomorrow. My anniversary is Saturday. So we're heading away for like 2 or 3 days. So I'll have strategy show and everything tomorrow morning. I won't be on live before lock or playback tomorrow night. And then I'll have strategy show Sunday morning, but I won't be on anything at night as well. But yeah, no puppy class today. He graduated. Our little boy's all grown up. Keith is now over 6 months old. and he's just a big crazy guy. Oh, there's the portfolio EV link from Nightbot in chat. So if you're in chat and you wanted to use the promo code DOWNBAD, if you see that link from Nightbot that says 7-day free trial of portfolio EV, click that link and use that promo code. That'll get you the 50% off. Ooh, and it'll also get you that free week, by the way, if you've never signed up before. Kenny's getting a little rambunctious now. We're probably going to have to start thinking about getting him fixed sooner than later because he's trying to lay the pipe more frequently than he had been. He got a little humpy at doggy daycare yesterday. Tried to give our other dog the business this morning. So yeah, that little boy's grown up, but he gets to have his first experience tomorrow in one, riding a ferry to the island, big boat, and then two, he gets to run around on the beach, like no car, like no leash, no anything, just have some fun. Don't do it, spare him. We're actually gonna have to do it. I can't imagine anybody cares, but one of his balls never dropped. So it's like, you know, stuck up there. So they're gonna, whenever we do it, they actually have to go in and surgically remove it. So we actually have to do it mildly early. But right now he's just got like one uniform ball, which is kind of funny. It looks funny. He's gonna be huge. Oh, easy, Diggs. He's not like John Kruk. He has both of them. The other one's just hidden. Stuck up there. All right, I'm gonna build 2 lineups in the single lineup sim, and then we're gonna get out of here. Let me just fix that visual here. Oh, come on. Why are you... Come on. I can't get the zoom right. All right, that's going to be good enough. We'll get what we need here. Oh, I'm zoomed in. That's the problem. I was wondering why I was looking like shit. My fault. Yeah, there we go. All right, let's remove team. Or let's remove opponent. Large contest, 35% to first. Here we go. Single entry. Does it hurt the dog? Trevor, not that I know of. From what I understand, it's like, you know, you ultimately have to deal with it, but like, from what I understand, it doesn't matter at all right now. Just like, you don't want it up there permanently. So if you're going to fix them, you got to get it taken out. All right. Pat Spencer at the captain spot. I'm just kidding. That's not what I'm doing, but he is going in the lineup at the utility. All right, captain. I'm going to go Julius Randle, captain. Pat Spencer. Rudy Gobert. I guess I'm going to have to take Ant. You know what? I'm going to go Butler. What does the autocomplete give me? It gives me Ant and Kuminga and leaves 400. Let's see how that looks. Diggs, I think he meant, does it hurt to have one stuck up there? Not, does it hurt to remove it? Yeah, negative 17. Not surprised. Not surprised. We can do better. Well, I don't want Kuminga. I don't think. Maybe I do. What if I go Moody and complete it? Moody gives me Kuminga. Let's see that one. 205 and 212. That's 3 points off the max. It's too much ownership. I got to cut ownership now that I see it. Now, No, Trevor. When the anesthesia wears off, the balls are gone. They don't just remove the one and leave the other one up there. They take them both. Negative 1.4. So I'm not surprised. Remember what I said before. The max fantasy points that I saw in our sim was 2086. I'm at 2051, which is fine. But the max ownership was 214, and I'm at 212. I am taking on too much ownership here. I got to get rid of Jimmy Butler. Now, the problem is Jimmy Butler is still a decent value. But if I give up that Jimmy Butler to get more value, I should be able to upgrade somewhere else as well. So if I start with that package right there, and then I get Pat Spencer in, I need fantasy points, but I don't need ownership. So is that like Draymond Gobert leave? Oh, I'm over. I'm over. Is that Draymond Naz Reed? 194 projection, too low. Okay, so no. If I complete that lineup, it gives me Conley, Butler, leaves 200. Okay, so if I take Butler back out and go to Draymond, what's the actual best option other than Conley? So they give me Conley here at 24.9. It is, no, it's Naz Reid. Leave 400. Yeah, I'm just taking too big of a points discount. Yeah, not an adopt guy. Not an adopt guy. Yeah, negative 23. DraftKings be tricky. DraftKings be tricky. Let's look at FanDuel. Yes, Deegs, you and I are on the same page. If I had a different life situation, I would be happy to adopt, but no. All right, let's figure out what we want on FanDuel. So MVP FanDuel. Oof. It's probably gonna be. I'm gonna go Draymond here, which should allow me to spend a pretty decent chunk of salary. I'm gonna go Ant, Gobert, Peyton, and then that gave me Butler and Looney. See how that one looks. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure rescues help, but my dog loves the shit out of me. He's got a dope life. Negative 2. Can I get a positive lineup today? Jeesh. Let's take Butler out. Let's take Looney out. So if I don't want to go to Butler, if it's Randall, who's best? DiVincenzo. Let's see it. I just need to see a damn green number. By the way, guys, schedule for the rest of the day. You got Laffy, I assume, coming up next. I hope I have that message. I don't. That's not today. Assume MLB Live or MLB Strategy Show coming up next. Negative 23. Guys, you want to be good on the single lineup sim today? Get to work, because I don't think I have it. I don't think I have it. But I'm excited for this game. Greg and I will be back. I believe Greg and I. Could be Eric and I honestly don't know. I will be back with someone tonight for NBA Live Before Lock at 8 o'clock. Tip off at 8:30. And don't forget, the promo code is down bad, 50% off. a portfolio EV sub. Good luck, everybody. I'll see you guys tomorrow. 2-game slate. Who knows what happens tonight?